Shall we begin? Mangala Shloka. Nidhaya hridi vishvesham vidhaya guruvandanam balanam sukhabodhaya kriyate tarka sangraha vishveshwaram sambamurtim pranipatya giram gurum tikam shishuhitam kurve tarka sangraha deepikam. So in the last class, we started the Lakshana Lakshanam. Lakshanasya Lakshanam Nama Lakshana Lakshanam. The definition of what constitutes a definition. And we saw that Dushanatraya Rahito Dharmaha Lakshanam. That
Before we go to the doubt in the previous line, so the definition for Dravyas is given as Gunavattam,
correct.
And Atma is also told as a Dravya. So
Correct. Atma will have gunas. Later we will see what gunas Atma has. According to Tarkikas, Atma has multiple gunas. Jnanadhikaranam. Jnanadhikaranam Atma is definition.
It is not how Vedanta is.
Only Advaita Vedanta says it is Nirguna. No? So, that is why this is a different Shastra. You have to hold to that Shastra while looking at that. Then we will see why he says it like that and extra. Other things we will come to it. You think him? Oh. Anybody knows how to make this double page? View. Two pages. Okay. Okay. That is only doubt. No? Okay. Any other doubts? So, Dushanatraya Rahito Dharmaha Lakshanam. It should not have any of these three doshas. Okay. So, that is where we are. The next line, so till that we took the Lakshya as Gauhu, and then we saw whether it applies to Gau or not, etc. We made the analysis of Avyapti, Ativyapti and Asambhava with the examples that were given there. Then the, okay, that was given there. Yet Dushanatrayarito Dharmaha Lakshanam. Sayeva Asadharana Dharma ityuchyate. So Lakshanam equal to Asadharana Dharma. Asadharana Dharma is another name for what we call as Lakshanam. Asadharana means something that is special. A Dharma that is Asadharana. Here the word Dharma means some inherent quality is called as Dharma. Okay? So that Asadharana Dharma is called as Lakshanam. Now we come to this line, Lakshyatavachedaka Samaniyatattvam Asadharanatvam. So in one single sentence he is saying it is like a positive definition of what is Lakshana. We said, now one by one I will write so that we don't get confused. Lakshanam equal to Asadharana Dharma. Asadharana Dharma is Lakshana. The next sentence he is using this word Asadha. What is Asadharanatvam now? What do you mean by Asadharanatvam? By uniqueness?
Asadharanatva bhinnatvam.
Asadharanatva bhinnatvam. Sadharana bhinnatvam asadharanatvam. Asadharanatvam, what do you mean? So that he is giving. That means what do you mean? What is Lakshanam? That's what. Same thing. Lakshanam in a positive way he is trying to define as Lakshyatavachedaka Samaniyatattvam. Okay. There are two parts to the word here. I will write down this whole word again because this is an important Lakshyatavachedaka. This is one part. Samaniya-tattvam, second part. First, we will take this part, Samaniya-tattvam part. Samaniya-tattvam is, we can give examples here. Now, did we see what is the definition for Gauhu at the end? No. Huh? It did not come at all. No, he has not explained it here also. The word did not come here at all. Okay. For Gauhu, the Lakshanam I will tell you, the Gauhu is Sasnadimatvam is the definition. Sasnadimatvam. Okay. Sasnadimatvam. What is Sasna? Sasna is, in English, it is called as dewlap. What is dewlap? Huh? Not here. No, near the throat. For the cow, near the throat, there is this hanging skin. That will be there only for the cow. No other animal has that.
That too, it is only there for Indica.
Most Indian cows. So, only that is Gauhu. It is certain, little, huh? It is not.
Because of, see, the HF or this thing, yeah. Since I breed cow, I know this problem. So what happened is when they got that HF and Jersey, they started injecting, or the only cows that were there was the male cows were there, which was Indian. So that is the reason why Indian HF and Indian Jersey has a horn as well as this.
As well as dewlap.
Initial crossing.
Initial crossing. Okay. So anyway, we will talk about Indian cows only here. Gauhu is Indian cow. Okay. Whichever species or whatever you call it. That's Sasnadimatvam. The Sasna is the name for the dewlap. That is the Lakshanam. There is no Avyapti, there is no Ativyapti, there is no Asambhava. All the cows that you want have dewlap. Dewlap means cow, cow means dewlap. This is called as Samaniya-tattva. Co-inherence. So when this is, let us come back to, there is a certain thing called Vyapya Vyapaka Bhavaha. Okay. Vyapya means to, there are no English words. Very, very difficult to come up with English words for each of this. Anyway, let us take our, okay, you can say set and subset, but it is not exactly set and subset. Dhumaha Vanhihi only we will take, okay. We will take the usual example. Okay. Dhuma is smoke, Vanhi is fire. Now, what do we say? Yatra yatra dhumaha, tatra tatra vanhi. Wherever there is dhuma, there is vanhi. Yes.
Vanhi or vanhi?
Vanhi is how you have to pronounce. Okay. The pronunciation we have calculator. We will stick to vanhi as the pronunciation. So, wherever there is dhuma, there is vanhi. There is not book. But wherever there is vanhi, there is dhuma, you cannot say. Okay. So, it is only the vyapaka bhava is only in this side, not the other way. Yatra dhumaha tatra vannihi. The other way does not hold. This does not hold. Okay. Yatra yatra vannihi tatra tatra dhumaha, it does not hold. So this is not samaniyata. The word niyata also means vyapya. Vyapya. This vyapya is a concept in anumana, in inference, where dhuma is vanhi vyapya. Very similar, exactly. After you understand the whole concept, then you can map it like that. So you can say, then you can maybe call this a bijective function or something like that. But as he said, you can interpret or assume it in the form of sets also. See, vanhi is the whole set. Dhuma is a subset part of it. Okay. So dhuma is vanhi vyapya. Vanhi is dhuma vyapakaha. It covers the whole thing. And this is covered by that. So this vyapya vyapaka bhava is covered and covering. A very simple terminology, but that vyapya vyapaka bhava is important. Samaniya tattva means both are equally covered. That is not in this example. For example, in Gauhu, Gotva and Sasnadimatva are Samaniyata. You can, if you draw a box for Gotvam, if you say all this is Gotvam, then Sasnadimatvam is also the same box. Yatra yatra Gotvam, tata tata Sasnadimatvam. Yatra yatra Sasnadimatvam, tata tata Gotvam. So there is no exception to this at all. That equal vyapya vyapaka bhava is called as samaniyata. Samavyapya, that's what it means. Samaniyata means it is equally coexistent. I think the English translation there is given co-inheres. The way Swami has Virupakshananda has translated Gotvam. No, go means cow. Gotvam is cowness. Wherever there is cowness, there is dewlapness. No. That is avachedaka. Delimiting adjunct is avachedaka. Coexistence. Coextensive. Coextensive. Coextensive makes sense.
It's being reciprocally coextensive.
Reciprocally coextensive. Sama niyatatva. Reciprocally coextensive.
A is a subset of B is a subset of say B, A is, which implies A equal to B something.
Correct.
That is
Kinda, yes. A equal to B basically in a whole set. For that you have to say it this way only. Because both are two different things. See, Sasna is not Go. Go is not Sasna. But Sasnadimatvam, wherever there is Sasnadimatva, there is Gotva. Wherever there is Gotva, there is Sasnadimatva. There is no problem with it. Okay. Here Go is not equal to Sasna, but you see, that quality, that is why it is dewlapness and cowness that we are dealing with. Cow is different from cowness. Be very clear about it. Maybe at the end I will come to it again. That is why when the definition was given as what is dravya, dravyatvam is a very valid definition. Because dravya is not dravyatva. Both are two different categories altogether. Okay. That is why that definition holds. Nevertheless here. So you understand this word samaniya tattva now. Okay. Samaniya tattva means both are equally vyapya of each other. This is vyapya of that is vyapya of this. So the word samaniya tattva is understood. Now we'll come to the first word. Lakshyatavachedaka. Last time itself is.
Vyapika padigirathu.
Yes. Vyapya is that which is covered. That which is covered is Vyapya. That which covers is Vyapaka.
Okay. So here, Dhumaha is going.
We are all Vyapya in that way. All Jivas are Vyapya. Bhagavan is Vyapaka.
So here in Dhuma and Varni example, so Dhuma is going to be
Vanhi Vyapya.
But technically speaking, Dhuma is the one which covers the fire, right? But
that is no. We are talking about it logically. No.
Okay. So
Yatra Dhumaha Tatra Vanhi.
In that way, we are saying Vyapaka.
That's all. That is the only way we are saying. That is the only way we are saying.
Something like covering.
Not physical covering. We don't mean. That is why it is conceptually covering. That is why drawing that makes things confusing in one way, but it makes things clear also. So understand it. Vyapya Vyapaka you have understood. Okay.
Just an inference, right?
Which one?
Whenever Vyapya, there is Vyapaka.
Correct. Whenever Vyapya, there is. That is an inference. I am only talking about what is Samaniya Tattva. That's all. Yes, that is always an inference. And only in inference this concept itself of Vyapya Vyapaka will come. Vyapti. The whole idea of Vyapti comes only in inference.
The better way of looking at this, you can think of them as cardinalities. So, cardinality of Vyapya and cardinality of Vyapaka, only when it is same, then it comes, then you get Samaya Tattva.
But if your two disjoint sets can also have same cardinality, no?
They should be one and the same.
It's not cardinality.
No, in no way we are trying to say that Bhotvam is characterized by Sasnadimatvam. Yes.
Sasnadimatvam. Yes, that is a Lakshana.
That's a Lakshana, but Sasnadimatvam can be taken up by something else, some other animal also.
That is the whole point. No, you cannot. Or else how will you become Lakshana? You will become Ativyapti, no? Then the whole Lakshana breaks down.
In these two, which is the Vyapya and Vyapaka?
Both can be. You can have it both ways. However you want to say. You can. If you say Yatra Yatra Gotvam Tattva Sastadimatvam, then Sastadimatvam becomes Vyapya, Gotvam becomes Vyapaka. If you put it the other way, this becomes Vyapya, that becomes Vyapaka. That is the point of Samaniya Tattvam. That's why this word we have to be clear now. Samaniya Tattva means, see, when you define something by its definition, then the definition captures everything that is defined by it. So there is this Vyapya Vyapaka Bhava is one on top of the other.
And then
There is no
comes like two words for the same thing. Why are they having?
You tell, why do we need a definition? Why do we need a definition? That is the next part actually. He is going to come to the prayojanam of a definition.
No, in the sense that how I meant is definition will help you understand.
Correct.
But definition is in such a way that it is assembled in such a way that it is unique.
Yes.
So
It is unique and it is specific also. Like it covers everything. Yes.
correct.
Yes.
It's specific and it covers. So it is as good as telling what it is only. So why are
That's what definition should say what it is. No.
I am saying, how I am saying is go. I didn't have to name it as go. I could have told it as Sasnadi or something.
Sasnadiman, you could have named it as. Yes. You could have named it as Sasnadiman or Sasnadimati, whichever works. Yeah, mostly Gauhu is a Strilinga pada, so Sasnadimati. Right. Both works. That is how actually many things in Samskruta, various words that we have for animals are made up of such qualities only. When you say Hasti, but Hasti is a Ativyapti definition actually. But nevertheless Hasti. Bhashakaha. That which barks is Bhashakaha. So Bhashakatvam is Kukuratvam. Yatra yatra Kukuratvam, tatra tatra Bhashakatvam. Okay, so we'll go into funny things, but that is what it is. Okay. So how do you, anyway, now you have understood this Samaniya Tattvam idea, you have understood. Okay. Now we'll come to Lakshyata Chedaka. We will start with go only. Gauhu. The word is Gauhu. Don't forget, it is not Gohu, it is Gauhu. Okay, you can. Goho iti padam nasti. Goho iti shashti vibhakti. Gauhu gavo gavaha. Gauhu. Okay, this is our lakshyam, lakshya rather. What does lakshya mean? That which needs to be, that which is our object of definition. Okay, that which is our object is Gauhu. Okay, Lakshyata exists in Gauhu. Lakshyata, this ta, I don't know how to put it in English. Do you understand? All you can say, yeah, lifiability. Okay, Lakshyata gavi vartate. Okay, this Lakshyata exists in Gauhu. Okay. Now we have this word avachedaka. Avachedaka is what he has in English. What was the word? Coextensive. No, before that there is another word.
Adjunct.
Delimiting adjunct. Delimiting adjunct. So what avachedaka is. Okay. Gauhu lakshya. Gau is our lakshya. Lakshyata exists in Gau. Lakshyata avachedaka. Avachedaka is something that, as the word delimits is a nice word, which delimits or differentiates something from everything else. Okay. Now, no, avachedaka here means like drawing a boundary kind of thing. Okay. So this set would be true. It has a boundary. This is your avachedaka. Everything outside this you do not want to define. Let us say we gave this definition Sasnadimatvam to Gauhu. Now you bring a horse and say, no, you bring a horse and say, this is not Sasnadiman. Why have you not defined this? Why have you not defined this? Because that is not my lakshya. It is not within my lakshyata avachedaka. First, you have to draw a boundary as to what you want to define. Okay. If you want to define all animals, then say it as Pashutva. You said Gotva. What all comes inside Gotva? What Padarthas constitute Gotva? That is what this Avachedaka talks about. Okay. Avachedaka is telling what all padarthas actually constitute what you want to define. Then you should not, after definition, you should not bring about something else and say, this is not defined. Okay. Like what the example just I showed. After I said Sasnadimatvam, you cannot bring a Manushya and say, this does not have Sasa, I will call him Gauhu. Does not make sense. First, you have to have an Avachedaka boundary as to what you want to define. After that, you have to bring in a definition. Okay. So, Gauhu Lakshya, Gavi Lakshyata Vartate. Okay. Now, the Lakshyata Avachedaka and Gotva, these both are Samaniyata. Lakshyatavachedaka samaniyatattvam asadharanatvam. This is what we call as asadharana dharma. Asadharanatva means lakshyatavachedaka samaniyatattvam. Now actually why are we saying this? We are giving this for the definition of definition. So now our lakshya is lakshana. Lakshana is our lakshya. Lakshana Lakshyata Lakshane Vartate. Okay. This Lakshyata is there in Lakshana. Lakshana Vachedaka Samaniyatattvam Asadharanatvam. Lakshanam, this is actually Lakshanam. Okay. Lakshyata Lakshane Vartate. Lakshanavachedaka samaniyatattvam asadharanatvam. This is what it is. Till now we have so lakshyatavachedaka samaniyatattvam asadharanatvam. You understood? So this is the this sentence we have to remember as it is. This is lakshyatavachedaka samaniyatattvam asadharanatvam. If you want more, I will send you some links. There are little more Vistara is there for this itself.
Can I just something like this? So, okay. So I want to say what is asadharanatva of an object. Some object. First, that object has some properties. I define a boundary for that property. And
not for the property. What all objects do you want to define? That is Lakshyatavachedaka. Okay.
So then, whatever property I am seeing has to be
there in all those objects. In all the objects that you. That's what.
Yeah.
That's what. That Dushanatraya Rahito Dharma should be there. All those Dushanas should not be there.
So this Lakshana will be common for all the Sapta Padarthas.
Don't say Lakshana.
I said Lakshanam. Lakshanam will be common.
Because Lakshana is different.
So if it is common, then the Sutrakara could have introduced this in some previous Sutra itself, or the Deepika content which is given there. Why is it given inside the Dravyas Sutra explanation? And why is it not put in the Padarthas explanation there? Or is there any other reason that we have to...
Now, we have to assume a reason why Annam Bhatta... See, this is just the starting of the Grantha to say so. We had Mangalavada, then we had Tamovada. Then in each one, he probably wanted to bring a new concept. And by now, he has given 3-4 definitions. And now, he wants to say, this is what constitutes a definition.
He is asking a question like, A for apple. So you have just introduced me A, but P is there in apple, which is haven't been introduced. Why are they asking that question?
No, the other way. He is asking the other way. He is saying this should have been given first.
So, no, he is saying
before giving any other definition.
Alphabet, why did you say alphabet? You start with A for apple.
That is what he is saying. He has just brought it out here. Any Granthakara could have brought it out in any other way, but he planned to. So now you have to actually, that Lakshana, I rubbed it off. You have to take all the previous Lakshanas that we have seen and see whether it works with this Lakshyatavachedaka Samaniyatattva. What is the Lakshya? Where does Lakshyata Kutra Asti? That Lakshyatavachedakam Kim? Samaniyatattvam Kim? You have to work it for each of the one.
So for Padartham Abhideyatvam can we check it?
Check it.
Padartham Abhideyatvam. So Padarthatvam Abhideyatvam. So Lakshanam, Lakshya is going
Lakshya is Padartha. Lakshya Padartha. Lakshyata Padarthe Vartate. Lakshyata Padartha Nishtha.
Then
Lakshyatavachedakam. Padarthatvam.
Okay. And Samaniyatattvam is Abhideyatvam.
Abhideyatvam padarthatvasya samaniyatam asti.
Okay.
Samavyapyam asti.
अभिधेयः इत्युक्ते नामः
नाम इत्यस्ति. अभिधेयत्वम् इत्युक्ते कथं वक्तुं शक्यते? नाम इति न. नाम यस्य भवितुं योग्यता. नामत्वम् is correct, but not namat. It is abhidheyatvam is not namatvam. Abhidhatvam is namatvam. Abhideya is I don't know how to put that pratyaya for the word nama. That's all. Yasya nama bhavitum yogyata asti saha abhideyah. That is all. Okay. Now we have completed this particular sentence. Now we will go forward.
But all of this only tautology. Basically, we are saying that anything that has a pada.
It is not a tautology because he has already split. Once we come to Samanya, it will make more sense. See, there are 7 padarthas: Dravya, Karma, Dravya, Guna, Karma, Samanya. Whenever we add this tva pratyaya, it refers to Samanya. It does not refer to the first 3. So when you say Dravyatva is a Samanya Padartha. It is not a part of Dravya. Dravyatva is not Dravya. That is why the definition as that which has Dravyatvam makes sense for Dravya. Dravyatvam is something that falls under the Samanya category. Dravyatvam. Dravyatvam what?
That is again
Dravya. Yasya tadvatvam is tadeva. Tadvatvam is tadeva. So gunavatvam gunaha. Dravyavatvam dravyam. So tadvatvam tadeva. That's how you have to remember. If you add a vat and then tvam, it becomes that only.
So for for Padarthatvam Abhideyatvam, Lakshata Avachedakatvam was Padarthatvam.
Padarthatvam only you have to say. See, it is actually a physical padartha or some padartha that you have to actually talk about.
So Lakshata,
Only in padartha, okay, yeah, it's okay.
for Lakshata,
But this definition works.
What does it exactly mean? I'm still not able to clearly understand.
It draws a boundary on the objects that you want to include in the definition. That is why I gave a Vyatireka example, that after having said Gotvam, with the word go, if you want to define a horse also, then this will not work. You understand? So you are bringing all those padarthas, all the cows you bring and say, this is my, that Gotva Jati you bring in and say, this is what I want. That is my Lakshata Avachedaka. You could say sample space, kind of.
So here for Padarthatvam Abhideyatvam, here all the Padarthas are the one which I will be talking about.
Correct.
So all the Padarthas are the one which are
Lakshata Avachedaka.
So then why am I saying Padarthatvam? Lakshata Avachedaka has to be a Padartha. Oh, it's like Lakshata Avachedakatvam.
Correct. Lakshata Avachedaka and Padarthatvam. Yes.
If it is just Lakshata Avachedaka,
And then
it is
Padartha.
Padartha.
Yes, yes.
And then for Samaniyatattvam, it was Abhideyatvam,
That's all.
Padarte Samavyapya Vartate.
Oh, yeah. Abhidheyatvam padarthanishtam asti or samavyapyam asti or samaniyatam asti. Yeah, okay. I was thinking of presenting it in some other manner. Let us see. If it comes, it comes. Next. Now, this Lakshana has two prayojanas. Okay. Lakshana has two prayojanas. One is Vyavritti, other is Vyavahara. This Vyavritti is also called as Itara Bheda, because they will use both the words here, hence I am writing both words. Vyavritti means difference or showing difference from something else. Why do I use the word cow? What is the use of using the word cow? What does it say?
Not something else.
Correct. Just to say that I am not referring to anything other than cow, I am referring to only cow. Hence I use the word gau. And it is also for Vyavahara. Every day I have to communicate with somebody and say that is what I am referring to. So these are the two things. These are two prayojanas that I have from my Lakshana. My Lakshana gives two prayojanas. So one is Vyavritti and the other is Vyavahara. Vyavritti is also called as Itara Bheda. Itara Bheda you have to remember from probably second class. Itara means something else. Bheda means difference from that. So referring to itself only. Okay. Gavetara Bheda Gavi Vartate. The Itara Bheda Gavetara Bheda is in Gauhu only. Itara Bheda of cow is where? In cow only. Complement of complement, correct. Complement of complement is Itara Bheda. That is what Vyavritti basically shows. Now the question, what he is asking, this is actually a Purva Paksha, he is asking, Vyavartakasya Lakshanatve Vyavrittau Abhidheyatvadau cha Ativyaptihi Ataha Tad Varanaya Tad Bhinnatvam Dharma Visheshanam Deyam. Now, if you assume this Vyavritti to be separate from Lakshanam, our Lakshana was what? Definition of the cow. What does the Lakshana do? Lakshana does both this Vyavritti and Vyavahara, two prayojanams are there. Now, Vyavritti is another Padartha now. They are showing this difference from other things. But this Asadharanatvam, the Lakshana that you gave for Lakshana, now over applies to Vyavritti also. Lakshanam is one, definition is one Padartha we have defined now. That Vyavritti is now another Padartha. Vyavritti is a different Padartha. What was the definition of Lakshana? That this Dushanatraya should not be there, or Lakshyatavachchedaka Samaniya Tattva. This Lakshyatavachchedaka Samaniya Tattvam clearly applies for Vyavritti also. Gavetara Bhedaha Gavi Asti. Correct. So, Kau Itara Bheda is in cow also. Itara Bheda means, see, Itara means something other than. Okay. What is other than cow? Everything, the whole universe is other than cow. Anything else. Difference of all that, where does it exist? In cow only.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, complement the whole.
Cow, yeah. Cow, this is all Itara. This is Itara Bheda. Okay. This whole thing is Itara. I am writing like this because that's a universal set. You don't know, that's an infinite set. That is Itara. Everything other than cow is Itarat. Gavetara Bheda Gavi only Vartate. This is the idea of Vyavritti. Now that Lakshyatavachchedaka Samaniyatattvam, whatever you said, that definition, Lakshyatavachchedaka applies for Vyavritti also.
For every definition it has to.
Exactly. For every definition, it will apply for us. That's why we are speaking generally. We are not speaking only with that. We are speaking generally that whatever definition I gave for definition applies for Vyavritti also now. So it is over applicability. You have Ativyapti dosha.
How is it not Samaniya Tattva?
No. Okay.
I just told that is also Samaniya Tattva.
Which is Samaniya Tattvam?
I mean, in the sense that this Vyavritti is
Ah.
Samaniya Tattvam for Lakshana.
Not Samaniya Tattvam. You are saying it is same as Lakshanam, you are saying. That is what. If you don't accept it as same as Lakshanam, then this problem comes. See, Lakshanam is a definition. Vyavritti is a difference. Both are two different things though. Now, but the definition I gave for definition over applies to this difference also.
How exactly is it being over applied?
Let us take any other example. You give some Lakshana for something. Prithvi. Prithvi. Gandhavati Prithvi. Okay. No, Gata, you don't have Lakshanam. What will you give Lakshanam? Kambugrivaadi Matvam. Kambugrivaadi Matvam. That's what it will become very complicated. Let us take a very simple example. Prithvi Gandhavati. Anything that is Gandha has Prithvi. Gandhavati Prithvi, one example we'll take. Okay. Gandhavati Prithvi. Okay. This is easier rather than Padartha, etc. Gandhavati Prithvi. Okay. Gandhavatvam kutra vartate? Prithivyam vartate. Gandhavatvam kutra na vartate? Prithvi itareshu na vartate. Prithvi itara bhedaha nama Prithvi eva. Prithvi itara bhedaha nama Prithvi eva. So Prithvi itara bhedaha Prithvi eva. Gandhavatvam Prithvi itara bhede vartate. Prithvi itara bhedaha vyavrittihi.
Gandhavatvam. Okay.
Gandhavatvam Prithvi Lakshanam. Now, this Gandhavatvam applies to Vyavritti also. It applies to Lakshyata. What is your Lakshya? Atra Lakshyam kim? Prithvi. Lakshyata Prithivyam vartate. Lakshyata Vachchedakatvam Prithivitvam. Gandhavatvam Samaniyatatvena vartate Prithivyam. This Gandhavati applies to Prithivitara Bhedaha also and Prithvi also.
See, no. Can we say something like this? Rather than defining anything, I take the complement and negate it. It will be either you say Lakshana or Vyavritti of any object. It will be the same as what he is saying.
It will be the same as what you think. What I am saying, what he is trying to, what another Purvapakshi is saying is that Vyavritti is a different thing. It is not Lakshana.
Correct. Yes.
It is not Lakshanam. It is something else. But the Lakshana that you gave for Lakshana applies to Vyavritti also.
Okay.
That is the problem that is coming with. If you accept what you are saying, agreed. That he is going to give as a second option. That is going to give. If we accept that Vyavritti is also same as Lakshanam, then no problem. No problem. But if at all you want to differentiate that Vyavritti is different from Lakshanam, then the Lakshana that you gave for Lakshana over applies to Vyavritti. There is an Ativyapti on Vyavritti. That's all he is saying here. Vyavartakasyaiva Lakshanatve. Vyavrittau Abhidhe. It over applies to Abhidheyatva also. The same thing over applies to Abhidheyatva also. Cha Ativyaptihi. Ataha Tadvaranaya. To remove that Ativyapti, these Tarkikas always have a very nice idea for this Varana. Whenever such problems arise with Ativyapti, they have one Visheshana Tadbhinna. Different from that. Tadbhinnatvam Visheshanam Deyam. So, what will be your final answer? Lakshadavachchedaka Samaniyatattvam Vyavritti Bhinnatvam Abhidheya Bhinnatvancha. Abhidheya Bhinna Vyavritti Bhinna Lakshadavachchedaka Samaniyatattvam. Okay, this Tadbhinnatvam means different from that. There was two Ativyaptis, no? Ativyapti happened where? On Vyavritti and Abhidheyatva. These are two places Ativyapti happened. So you have to say different from that. So Vyavritti Bhinna, Abhidheyatva Bhinna, Lakshadavachchedaka Samaniyatattva. Okay. So this Tadbhinnatvam is a concept basically that you can say different and different from that. That's what he's saying. Tadbhinnatvam Visheshanam Deyam. You just have to add the Tadbhinna Visheshana there, different from that. So here we will have some humor. My grandfather quoted a shloka. Okay. Wherever these Tarkikas have such a problem, no, they always happily add one Tadbhinna Visheshana. This is Tamil mixed Samskruta shloka. Appa Kutti Rayam Sadhu. There was a person called Appa Kutti. Okay. This person said that fellow is a sadhu. Appa Kutti Rayam Sadhu. Now in Tata. No. Another Appa Kutti Rayam Sadhu. Now if I make a statement premise, I have to give Hetu and all. Anumana, I have to give Hetu, Drishtanta, etc. Now, what is my hetu? Kuttitvat. His name is Appa Kutti, no? So, Kuttitvat. What is my drishtanta? Puna Kuttivat. Puna means Bekku. The cat. Cat is called Puna. Okay. Appa Kutti Rayam Sadhu. Why Sadhu? Kuttitvat. Because he is Kutti, he is Sadhu. Now, what is my drishtanta? Puna Kuttivat. Like a kitten. Okay. Puna Kutti means kitten. Puna Kuttivat. Now, there is Ativyapti. Pambu Kuttav Ativyapti. In Pambu Kutti, Pambu means snake. Okay. In snake Kutti, there is Ativyapti because snake Kutti is not Sadhu. Your Sadhutva was your Sadhya. Sadhutva is not that Sadhya Vyabhichara is happening in Pambu Kuttav. Pambu Kuttav Ativyapti. Tadbhinnatvam Visheshanam. Wherever you have Ativyapti, give a Tadbhinnatvam. Pambu Kutti Bhinna. Anywhere, that's what. Tadbhinnatvam Visheshanam. No. Whichever, wherever you find Ativyapti, give Tadbhinnatvam as Visheshanam.
Even a small kitten also will sometimes scratch you.
That small kitten Bhinnatvam.
So then the
He has found the concept. He has found the concept. Then you have Hetva Bhasa Drishtanta problem there. Just so
Lakshana that you gave itself is wrong.
this is not Lakshana, this is Anumana Prayoga. The whole thing is Anumana Prayoga. Appa Kutti Rayam Sadhu Pratignya. Okay. Kuttitvat Hetu. Drishtanta Puna Kuttivate. Now there is a Hetva Bhasa. Vyabhichara is come there. Pambu Kuttav Ativyapti. Tadbhinnatvam Visheshanam. So wherever you find Vidya, give Tadbhinna Visheshanam.
I feel like I'm sitting in organic chemistry. Everything they give
And then 5 exceptions. Exception 1, exception 2, exception 3, like that. Okay.
The thing is, they don't accept us to say that it is an exception.
So that Tadbhinnatvam Dharma Visheshanam Deyam is first he finished. Then Vyavaharasyapi Lakshana Prayojanatve. If we assume that Vyavahara is also one of the main Prayojana of Lakshana, see, first Prayojana we gave is Vyavritti and second. So because of Vyavritti, Vyavahara comes. If you say, then this problem arises. If you say Vyavahara itself is the main Prayojana of this Lakshana that you are defining, then Tannadeyam, that does not, it is not, that means Tadbhinnatvam you do not have to give. Tannadeyam means you don't have to give this Tadbhinna. Both Lakshana and Vyavritti can be used interchangeably. That's what.
Here the Purvapakshi asked that Lakshanam and Vyavritti had same definition. So then you are in your Lakshanam's definition only you are having Ativyapti. So for which the answer that he gives is
say it is Vyavritti Bhinna.
I am saying that Lakshanam's definition is Vyavritti Bhinna.
Correct.
Which is that
Vyavritti's definition will be Lakshana Bhinna.
No.
Correct.
No. What I am asking is that Lakshyata
Vachchedaka Samaniyatattvam.
Tadbhinnam.
You have to say it this way. Vyavritti Bhinna Lakshyata Vachchedaka Samaniyatattvam.
That is
Lakshanam. Asadharanatvam. Abhidheyatva Bhinna also you have to add.
What
Yes.
happens if you put it later?
No, you have for Samasa it has to come properly. No, you have to Samskruta language should come properly. That's all.
No, so why Abhidheyatva? Why that has to be done?
The same this over applicative will happen in Abhidheyatva also. Just like I showed in Vyavartakatva, it will have the over applicative will have happen in Abhidheyatva also.
But the nameable ability to get named and ability to be defined are two different things. No,
No, it's the same thing. That's what.
Anything
Anything which can be named.
Yeah, should be defined basically. Anything that you name should be defined in some way or the other.
Okay.
Even the word undefined is defined.
Okay. So for that we are saying Abhidheyatvam Bhinnam
Abhidheyatva Bhinna Bhinna Vyavritti Bhinna Lakshyata Vachchedaka Samaniyatattvam Asadharanatvam.
But they are the same thing, right?
That's why this might be in some Udgrantha, some other deep Grantha, they might have found some problem with it and they would have said Vyavriti is different or something. That's why he has brought out this concept. That's why many people, when they first time, when they even teach the Tarka Grantha, they will kind of go over this, skip over these couple of sentences. Because it is not that easy to understand why he is bringing in such a nuanced concept kind of thing. It's not even nuanced, it feels very pedantic to us rather than nuanced. Okay. Something like that's why he is able to do course after course on NPTEL. No? So that's what this basically this arguments here look pedantic to us. Maybe when you read a further Grantha, you will understand this thing. So I am also not fit enough to clarify why that argument is coming up there. Yes.
Here we will give the definition of Vyavrtitvam, Vyavrtihi itself, as
Vyavrattakatvam, you can say.
Vyavrattakatvam, as Lakshana Bhinna,
Abhidheya Bhinna, Lakshata Avachedaka Samanaya Tattvam, you can say. Maybe for now it seems correct to us. There might be some problems which people who know deeper Granthas. For now, as far as we have studied, that sounds correct. Yeah. It is always about, see, there are two things. In Tarka, there are basically two things. One is this Lakshana. The other is Anumana Pramana. These two places, whenever somebody talks about whatever Vakyartha they give, whatever Grantha they have written, you either have to find one of these three doshas here. Ativyapti, Avyapti, Asambhava dosha you have to find. Asambhava dosha usually will not come. It will either be Avyapti or Ativyapti dosha. One of these dosha you have to find. Then you become better than them. Or in Anumana, you have to find one of the Hetva Bhasa. We will see what Hetva Bhasas are. Not exception. Hetva Bhasa is a wrong logic. You have to find one of the Hetva Bhasas. These are the only two places how you have to find problems with Tarkika. One of these places they will get cut. If at all, so it shows your intellectual capacity basically. If you are able to find this one of the dosha either as Hetva Bhasa or in the Lakshana, then you have made your position more robust than the other person. That's all. This is how all arguments go forward. That is why this part is quite important. Okay. At least to basically understand what it is, it is quite important. This itself.
For example, initially they were saying that light is a wave.
Correct.
Because of some experiment, they came out that it has a dosha. It is not able to encompass.
Correct.
And then
It is an Abhyapti dosha.
Was there? So
Then you make the definition better. Yes. Yes, that's how it goes. And why that Abhyapti dosha comes? Because of an Anumana Prayoga. In that Anumana, there was a Hetva Bhasa. Because these sentences here itself, if you go to proper Tarka Guru, they will prove this using Anumana only. These sentences will be proved using Anumana. If you want next class, I will show you slightly how, or we will see Anumana and then come and see how that works. But that is how it is proved.
the reason is because the experiments were not exhaustive, right? We did not come across an experiment which proved that light is a particle.
Exactly. So until then, the definition held. There is no problem.
But inside this, there is a structure for it to become Bhadika.
Yes, exactly. That is why it is a Pramana Grantha.
Avachedaka, they were not able to find properly.
Nah, what is your Avachedaka? The Lakshata Avachedaka you have to define properly. Because even now when we start learning, we learn it as only either wave or particle. We don't straight away go to quantum interference. No, we start with, we think, okay, light is a wave. That's how we start. In high school, that's how we study. Only then, so at that time your Lakshata Avachedaka is only so much. When you change your Lakshata Avachedaka, your Lakshana also changes. Like that you have to.
Vyavritti's definition will be then Abhideyatva Bhinna, Lakshana Bhinna,
Lakshana Bhinna,
Lakshata Avachedaka.
Samaniya Tattva. You could give it like that's what he also said. You understood, no? That's what. As I said, I don't know whether the definition is correct. For the amount of knowledge we have now, that holds. Okay. You don't. If you take it to a Vidwan, he might find a problem with that. Eighth class. Whichever class. Okay. So there we have finished. Now another beautiful idea comes up. Vyavaharasyapi lakshana prayojanatve tannadeyam done. Vyavritterapi vyavahara sadhanatvat tannadeyam. That need not be given. What need not be given? Tadbhinnatvam visheshanam dadeyam. If vyavahara also, see, I gave you two prayojanas, no? If you assume that vyavahara is also mukhya prayojana and you assume vyavartaka to be equivalent to lakshana, you are not going to differentiate them, then you don't have to give this tadbhinna visheshana. That first definition holds. Kodukapada vandam, tanna deyam. Deyam means kodukapada vandam, tanna deyam. It need not be given. Because vyavritterapi vyavahara sadhanatva. Vyavritti also helps you in vyavahara only. When you say go, what do? You mean different from every other thing. That's why you mean go. So that vyavahara sadhana is there. Now, nanu gunavatvam na dravya lakshanam. Now, what did we say? Our first definition was gunavatvam is dravyatvam, is dravya lakshanam. Dravya, how do you define? By gunavatvam. Okay, gunavatvam dravya lakshanam. Gunavan dravyam is what we said. Anything that has a quality is called as dravya is what we said. Now he is saying no, that is not possible. Why? This is very Tarkika style. We have to make a lot of anumana here. It is not pratyaksha, it is a lot of anumana. I will try to explain as far as possible. Adyakshanavachinne ghate utpanna vinashte ghate cha avyapti. The concept here, there is a pot. Pot is what? A dravya. Pot is a dravya. When the pot is formed, at the kshana that is formed, or at the moment that is formed, there is no guna in that pot. You don't think about it in practical terms as to how it is. Why? I will tell you. There is karya karana bhava. What is karya karana? Cause and effect. A cloth is made of threads. The threads are the karana. Cloth is karya. The karana always has to exist before the karya. There has to be some existence for the karana before the karya. Both cannot come across at the same time. It cannot happen at the same moment. Both cannot come in. Then they are not karya karana. The karya karana bhava will not happen. In a ghata, what happens? Ghata is a dravya. Let us say that ghata is red in color or something. So that rakta varna that is there in the rakta rupa that is there in the ghata is a karana, is the karya of the ghata. Ghata is the karana, ghata is the cause, and the color of the ghata is the karana. Right. So if you say at the both ghata and the redness came together, that is a problem because karya karana bhava will not hold. So because of this anumana,
why redness should not come?
Ghata, your pot. Pot is karya. No, sorry, karana. Karana. The redness is the karya. Effect.
No, why? For pot itself, there is one karana, right?
What? That you leave. That mud is there. So what?
No, the redness is still there from the mud itself.
But this pot is a new dravya that you are creating, no?
Pot is a new dravya, right?
Pot is a new pot is a different dravya at least. The lakshana for mud is different from the lakshanam for mud is different from lakshanam for pot. So
redness did not exist before the pot.
The redness of the pot, correct. Redness of the pot did not exist before the pot.
Redness of sand, mud can exist before the pot.
Yeah, obviously.
But it cannot exist before mud.
Correct. It cannot exist before mud. Okay. So this is karana for this karana, for this is the karya. Okay, at the end this is the karya. So the redness of the mud can exist till here, and then it will be the redness of the pot. Okay, let us take it like this also. No? So there is one moment here, what we call a kshana, where the pot is without this guna. The pot exists as dravya, but it does not have the guna of redness. There is no guna. Not only red, there is no guna at all.
Does it have partners? In making the pot, it will be going hand in hand.
That is why you should not use pratyaksha, you would use this anumana. In the anumana, you find a hetva bhasana. There is no... In karya karana bhava, that's why I am explaining it like this. Im karya karana bhava. The karana has to exist before the karya.
Yes, that is agreeable.
Does the partness exist before the part itself?
Huh?
Partness.
Partness always exists.
Partness always
Dravyatva is different from Dravya. Right?
Partness always
my
exists.
mental concept, because of
It's a mental concept. It is a concept. Whereas it is a samanya. Ghatatvam is samanya. Samanya is nitya. Okay, samanya is nitya. Samanya is nitya. So ghatatvam always exists. When you see the ghata padartha, you see the ghatatva. Ghate ghatatvam drishyate.
Nothing but conscious.
Huh? No. This is not Advaita Vedanta.
So that means that at any given point of time, I don't see Dravya at all. I only see Dravyatva.
No. Again, Indriya Sannikarsha happens with whichever Indriya you capture the Dravya, with the same Indriya you capture the Dravya Jati also. The Dravyatva also. Okay, that will come later when we deal with Samanya and some other things. Anumana ottuka mattala, why? Yeah, that the Kshanikavadis, they have their own way of using Tarka. I don't know much about how they use Tarka. The original Granthas I have not studied, but they have their own ways of dealing with it. But they are heavy Tarkikas, by the way. All the Bauddhas are pure Tarkikas. That is why problem Shankaracharya slaps them left and right. Because you are Anubhava Viruddha, you can't simply use Tarka. Dustarkat Suviramyatam, that is the meaning there. That is why I said when I talked about that dosha, see, anybody who has a better intellect, see, all these are nuanced concepts that you have in the mind and you are making some anumana. In this anumana, if somebody is more intelligent than me, he can come and find a hetva bhasa and prove something else. But it should be there, no? Like in your experience, that should happen, no? You cannot simply prove something out of something and then say it is not even there.
But it's in the realm of possibility. It's not there. Here, for now, I'm not able to prove it is there.
What is the point of proving such a thing if it's not there in your experience?
Postulating an existence.
Hmm.
Till now, no one has found it. But if someone finds it there,
Not something like that, something that is directly, see, because I went into that argument, I'm saying, they go into such a beautiful argument in Kshanikavada and Vijnanavada, etc., where they will say there is no Atma. Who is saying no Atma? I am saying no Atma. Who is I? With all this, what did you do? With all your arguments, you propose that there is no I at all. There is no Atma Swarupa at all. That is Anubhava Viruddha, no? That is where he says, Shruti Matas Tarko Anusandhiyatam. You use Tarka, but along with Shruti Vakya. Because this Atma Swarupa can be given only by Shruti Vakya, not by just a Tarka. That's why Kathoparishad says, Naisham Tarkena Matirapaneya. With just dry Tarka, you cannot understand this Atma Swarupa. Tarka is a very useful tool, up to a certain extent. But if the yukti becomes Anubhava Viruddha, it makes no sense. If with 100 yuktis you prove Agnishitaha, it makes no sense. You may able to be, see, some argument you bring about like this, then you will end up proving like that. That doesn't make any use. If it is Anubhava Viruddha, it does not matter. Anyway, we'll come back to this place here. Karana. So at the moment that the pot is born, or the pot is created, at that Kshana, we call it Kshana, moment, whatever you want to. It is Guna Rahita, Kriya Rahita. Any Janyam Padartham, Janyaha Padarthaha, Kshanam Yavat, Agunam Akriyancha Tishtati. Okay. Any Padartha that is born, it stays without Guna and Kriya for that moment. Okay. This is the general rule. Any born Padartha, for Nitya Padartha, these are not a problem. For Atma, Akasha and all, this does not apply. Only for Janya Padarthas. Those Padarthas which are created, for a moment, they stay without Guna or Kriya. There is neither Guna nor Kriya. Bringing that, now this Purva Pakshi is asking, and the same thing applies at Nasha also. Okay. And at the moment of Nasha, also the same thing applies. So, these two Kshanas, your definition of Gunavatvam does not apply to Dravya. Your Dravya was there. What did you say? Gunavan? It does not apply. Adyakshana avachinna ghate. Utpanna vinashte ghate. It is Utpanna. At the moment it is going to Vinasha is Utpanna vinashte ghate cha avyapti. In both these places, that Kshana and this Kshana, there is avyapti. Because there is no guna. That Kshanam agunam tishtati kalu. So there is no guna there. So your definition does not apply there. That gunavatvam definition, there is a problem. Iti chet. You have understood the opposition?
I feel there is one flaw in the argument. Then basically he is saying an argument wherein there is existing a time period where with one object is without guna. So I can say that as a different object and the part as a different object which is existing with the guna.
And then you
and this object which was there without guna which he is telling. No, I can say that there is some other guna which is different from the part and then say attribute it. No, again that is
not Ghadatva.
I am also saying let it be some other Padartha.
So you are saying that at the point of creation there were two objects and then they got fused.
No. What I am saying is from part it became some intermediate entity. From intermediate entity to
at any given point.
from mud to intermediate entity to part.
So
Still this the same problem will arise. No, your part is the karana for your guna. You have to have that one moment of partness without this redness of the part.
See, no, the better way of saying it is so Abhidheyatva is there. No? Let's take an example of a baby. Till the birth certificate is written, the baby doesn't have a name.
Agunam tishtati, anama tishtati.
So that might be a better example to take.
Like that, one way, but this is what this applies everywhere. This Ghata is only for the sake of it we have taken. Okay, but agunam tishtati it.
Told about Karya and Karana, but in the middle you used Kriya. No? What is Kriya?
Kriya is the next Padartha. No, we have Dravya, Guna, Karma. Karma or Kriya is the next Padartha. So it neither has Kriya. See, Kriya means let us say the pot shakes. That's a Kriya of the pot. You shake the pot is shaking. It is the Kriya. At that moment, there is no such Kriya also. At the moment of creation of the pot, there is neither Kriya nor Guna for the pot. Okay. But the definition you had given was Gunavatvam. So it doesn't apply at that moment. Now how is it? The opposition, the objection is clear. Right. Now we come to the reply. Iti chet Guna samanadhikarana sattabhinna jatimattvasya vivakshitattvat. What is the time? Should we stop here? Okay, we will stop. It will take some time to draw the diagram and show the Guna samanadhikarana satta jatimattva.
The question is here, who gives the Guna? Who takes the Guna? While creation and
it doesn't have, nobody has to, it is not like a conscious entity should give. Dravya
came afterwards, right? This Guna.
Guna comes from Dravya, from the Dravya.
Dravya is not existing yet as of now.
Yes,
What is?
correct.
So somebody has to be Karta for this Karana.
Okay.
Who is the Karta?
It could be the potter. In this case, the potter. Or it could be, see, in random cases, it could be Prakriti also. Let us say a seed grows into a tree. Things like this. It could be Prakriti, Ishvara, various other kartas. This current Purva Paksha. The current Purva Paksha is very simple. I gave the Lakshana for Dravya as Gunavatvam. But this Gunavatvam does not apply in the first moment and the last moment. Therefore, it does not completely apply to Dravya. Avyapti, that's all. There is only Avyapti dosha here. So this Avyapti dosha, how do you remove is the next. In one line he removes. Guna samanadhikarana sattabhinna jatimatvam. That we have to see what is satta, sattabhinna, then jatimatvam, everything else. So we will start. Nidhaya hridi vishvesham vidhaya guruvandanam balanam sukhabodhaya kriyate Tarka Sangraha Vishveshwaram Sambamurtim Pranipatya Giram Gurum Tikam Shishuhitam Kurve Tarka Sangraha Deepikam.